Good evening and thanks for being with us. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Lee Waldman. In just the past 3 days, there have been two incidents of a child finding a loaded gun and hurting themselves or another child. In both of those cases, the guns were found inside of a home. We set out to find out if a parent or guardian could face any legal charges. According to the Texas Penal Code, making a firearm accessible to a child, a parent or guardian could face charges, but the most a person can be charged with is a Class A misdemeanor, and even then, these cases are hard to prosecute.
The penalty range is not sufficiently high to justify a lot of resources being poured into these prosecutions. And so that's discouraging for a prosecutor.
Currently, there are 4 pieces of legislation that could change the law and make it easier to prosecute and increase the punishment to a felony. Tomorrow, Texas Senator Roland Gutierrez will introduce more gun safety bills, including one on gun storage safety. Tonight, almost a dozen people are behind bars and millions of dollars worth of drugs seized after a multi-agency drug bust in Kerr County. 11 people were arrested in the operation. 4 of them are from San Antonio. The Kerr County Sheriff's Office says they took in over 27 kilos of cocaine, 56 kilos of methamphetamine, and nearly a pound of marijuana. KCSO says the street value is around $8 million. Illegal guns, 3 fugitives, and 2 undocumented migrants were also recovered. Mexican and U.S. officials are working to find 4 Americans who were shot and kidnapped shortly after crossing the Texas-Mexico border. The kidnapping happened Friday, shortly after the group entered the city of Matamoros from Brownsville in a minivan with North Carolina plates. That's according to FBI officials. Now, Mexico officials say the 4 Americans were going to buy medicine at the time of the kidnapping. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for the victim's return and arrest of the kidnappers. Gun control and same-sex marriage. Support for these 2 issues lands Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez a censure by his party. Saturday, the Texas GOP voted 57-5 with 1 abstain to censure the 2-term congressman. The party cited lack of loyalty to Republican principles and priorities. Gonzalez has voted against the majority of the Republican Party on a handful of issues like supporting gun control measures after Uvalde, in favor of same-sex marriage, going against a House Republican rules package, and disagreeing with fellow Texas Republican proposals for border security measures, something he addressed today in Eagle Pass.
At the end of the day, I will roll up my sleeves every single day, and anybody who wishes to challenge me, it's a fool's errand. I'll run you to the deep end of the pool every single time and drown you. So I welcome it.
As far as that lack of support goes, the censure means Gonzalez is cut off until May 28th of next year, the date of the primary runoff. We'll have that full story tonight on the Night Beat. A new housing community with hundreds of homes under construction is breathing life into a South Side neighborhood. The city broke ground today on the development off of South Zarzamora, which is expected to bring more affordable housing to the area. As our RJ Marquez tells us, city and community leaders hope it can be a gateway to more growth.
1, 2, 3.
Construction is now underway for the first major project that uses funds from the city's housing bond program that voters approved last year.
This project would not have been possible without that. And that allows us to maintain housing affordability in some of these areas where we need more units developed.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg and others broke ground on the Los Arcos de Vida, a new community for hundreds of Southside families with mixed incomes.
Homes available everywhere from families making about $22,000 a year all the way up to families making $52,000 a year.
It would be anyone who can afford to pay for a 2 to 3 bedroom apartment, for instance, in the low thousands. To maybe someone who needs a little bit more help.
This is a 600-acre development, and as you can see, Texas A&M San Antonio is right down the street. When it's all said and done, there will be more than 300 affordable homes here, everything from single-family houses to duplexes.
Along with the growth of Texas A&M San Antonio, there will also be more opportunities in the near future for people living here to get access to jobs, preventative services, and health care.
The access to health care eventually that will come with University Health System. We know that it's going to take 3 or so years to get this hospital going, but the educational component of that is going to be critical for our residents as well.
These homes at Los Arcos are expected to be ready for leasing by next year.
Our vision is that healthy communities represent the broad population and welcome everybody to live in that vibrant, quality lifestyle.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
If you're a fan of the heat, you're in luck over these next few days. Before a front moves into our area, let's check in with meteorologist Adam Caskey.
More dampness to start the day tomorrow. Fog, drizzle, and the associated dampness with it. Tomorrow through the morning commute with reduced visibility up until about 10, 11 a.m. And then into the afternoon, we'll see some sunshine breaking out. 83 degrees for the high. However, if the fog burns off a little faster than expected, we'll be a bit warmer. Divine, Poteet, 86 tomorrow. 81 Bulverde and Bernie, Helotes, about 80 degrees for the high. More of the same Wednesday and Thursday, then a cold front arrives Friday. With it, only about a 30% chance of storms, but that's our only opportunity for rain within sight.
Another round of record-breaking snow in the west, up to 5 more inches for California's Sierra Nevada mountains. Over 48 feet of snow has already fallen this season. Snow piling up, blanketing on roofs, swallowing homes, and look close, creating rolling avalanches. Crews clearing roads, removing more than 2,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of snow from San Bernardino County alone. Placer County under a state of emergency with no power, water, or internet service. Officials warn it could take days to reach others stuck in the snow.
We have snow plows, but it's just too thick and it's too hard, and they're just not equipped for this kind of ice. It's just too much.
Mountain communities in Southern California have a break in the forecast right now with no snow, but people can still expect windy conditions as work continues to bring them much needed aid. When you're done with dinner tonight, what happens with those food scraps? Besides the trash and garbage disposal, there's composting, but it can be confusing to figure out how is the best way to do it. So 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz breaks it down.
It's like turning garbage into gold, composting. That's where food scraps and other organic waste break down over time and blossom into a nutrient-rich soil helper. Great for gardening. That's how it's supposed to work.
Depending on what type of compost system you're using, it's really important to know what you can and cannot put in each of them.
There are basically 3 main compost systems: backyard compost bins, vermicomposting, which uses worms, and city services that pick up your bin curbside. If you do the backyard compost bin, toss in most food scraps, including eggshells, coffee grounds, and yard trimmings. Just avoid bones, meat, fish, and dairy. Here's the trick. When you add new waste, cover it immediately with leaves. This helps break it all down. If you live in an apartment, vermicomposting may be best. It doesn't require a lot of space, but it does involve worms.
You can dispose of the same food scraps as you would in a backyard bin, but worms can shy away from items like garlic, onions, or citrus peels, so it's best to avoid putting those items in your vermicompost bin.
Municipal composting systems heat up to high temperatures as they break down the waste so they can handle more stuff. But be sure to check the rules. Things like diapers are not allowed, and you can get fined. No matter what system you use, once you have your compost, you can spread it on your garden or just all over your lawn. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Well, we are out of time for tonight. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Have a great evening and stay cool.